Let's start with what we have, knowing we can always add additional agenda items at any time. As facilitator, I have authority to choose the agenda order, and I'm going to start right at the top, focusing on one and only one tension at a time. Let's go to CE project. Callie, what do you need?
So you're getting targeted here. No, it's a small project, but would you be willing to take a project to, from my role as release manager, to announce the Dutch release of GlassRod? Do you want me to put it in here?
That would be great.
And Arash, you're doing that in your role as customer experience? And how would you like that captured, since you're the one who's taking the outcome? Callie, since you asked.
Dutch announced.
Dutch announced. And that's a project you're accepting as customer experience?
Yeah.
So Callie, back to you, since it's your tension.
With
Arash capturing that project, does that get you what you need?
Yes. It does.
All right. Check on, what was that? That was check on CE project. Developer community. Lex, what do you need?
Yeah, so I got some feedback in the forum. I think it was primarily when I was in the frog tank. So that there's some rumblings or some kind of question marks about having a developer community that developers could kind of, for GlassRod, where they could go in and kind of share what they're working on, get updates on the API, things like that. Now, the only role that I would fill that's even related to that is developer, and personally I don't really care about community, so I'm kind of not, I just happen to be the one that was told about it, but I kind of wanted to throw it out there and see if there's any role that wanted to pick that up, just to do my duty as processing, since I was receiving the information.
It sounds like what's called API evangelist in most other orgs, at least like who are heavily involved in this. So it's like this is really basic. I mean, the only interface that they're using for development outside is the API, right? So
yeah. So I mean, so some of the feedback that I got was a little bit about like being told about things that are going on in the API, but also what I think is a connection on what other developers might be working on, so they can kind of. I think there is kind of a community aspect that I also heard with that. So there might be two pieces
with each other.
Yeah, there was some of it was like, we want to know if you guys are working on something so that we don't try to integrate to solve that problem, like Asana integration or whatever.
Gotcha.
I think there was kind of just a general, but also maybe a general community thing, but I don't really sense into that tension so much. So I kind of want to just throw it out there and kind of see what role would take that tension, because it's coming from a customer and I just happen to be the receiver.
Yeah. It sounds like a role that hasn't been created that I would fill if it was created around either the development or API.
Will you take an action on it?
Yeah, I'll take an action.
No is okay, but
I'll take an action to introduce a proposal for that role.
So cool. Michael, you want to add attention for governance around this?
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you have other questions about it or whatever.
No, we can.
I can give you the details.
Coordinate on it to see what accountabilities you think should be on it.
But I am totally not the one to run with this tension.
Okay.
Like you
so
got the
Michael,
wrong
how do
person.
you want this captured?
Let's call it developer community role.
Developer community role. And did you need anything for proposed coordination or collaboration with Lex as a developer?
No.
You got that? So Lex, going back to you, Michael has attention for governance. You made your pitch. You got attention.
I've processed that.
Yes. Did that get you what you needed?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Let's go to cycle time. Lewis, what do you need?
I think we might have a problem with our cycle time. I think if there was because it's spiking up, and then when I look at the stories, I'm seeing 695 hours, 574, 883, 546, like hundreds and hundreds of hours. Like lots of stories have been open. I don't know what to do about it, but I just kind of want to sort of wave the flag that I think this might be a sign of trouble. Like if we're going to pay attention to story cycle time as a sign of trouble, this would be it.
Lewis, in what role are you speaking?
I think it's lead link.
So as lead link, you mentioned you weren't quite sure what to do. Mm-hmm. You've shared some information. You can request a project from a relevant role or see if you can pitch. If can request a next action. You could take an action or project yourself, try to set an expectation. Grounded in your tension around cycle time, what do you need to move forward?
I think I probably just wanted to raise the awareness, just be like orange flag or something, and then probably my next step will be to just pay extra close attention whenever we do our next, like the appropriate time where we check in on each of the stories, to pay attention to the cycle time of that.
Did you want to capture a project or action for monitoring cycle time or cycle time lessened, or was that pitched to raise that orange flag? Did that get you what you needed?
I think you did.
Okay. So check on cycle time. Great. Check on that. Any last agenda items to add?